Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell y'all something right now. When he breaks your heart, when he really cracks it like a windshield in a hailstorm, don't you go falling apart and thinking that you ain't worthy. Don't you dare sit around asking what's wrong with you. Nah, you got to look in that mirror and say, baby, what's right with me? Because if he had the audacity to fumble a woman like you, his ego need a reality check. A broken heart doesn't mean you're broken. It means he underestimated your power. That man thought he could walk away from you, hurt you, mistreat you, and you would crumble. That you would lose your sense of self, that you'd start begging for explanations, chasing closure, or sitting by the phone hoping for a text that was never coming. But let me tell you something. A broken heart doesn't define who you are. It reveals who you were always meant to become, because you don't discover your strength when everything is perfect. You discover it when everything falls apart. He thought you were weak because you loved hard. He mistook your softness for stupidity. He assumed that because you gave and you gave deeply, that you didn't have boundaries. But that's the thing. Real love, the kind of love you gave, requires vulnerability. It takes courage to open your heart to someone. And he didn't see that for what it was. He didn't see your loyalty as rare. He saw it as routine. He didn't realize that the version of you he had access to was exclusive. It was a one-time offer. And he blew it. See, a man with a fragile ego can't always appreciate a woman with a powerful soul. He doesn't know what to do with someone who calls him higher, someone who expects emotional maturity, someone who shows up whole and ready. So when he breaks your heart, it ain't always because you lack something. Sometimes it's because you had too much self-worth, too much depth, too much potential. And instead of rising to meet you, he chose the easy road. One where he could keep his ego intact. But here's the real twist. When he walked away, he thought you would lose yourself. He expected tears, silence, desperation. But what he didn't count on was the rise. That's what always catches them off guard. The moment you stop crying and start building, the moment you stop talking about what he did and start remembering who you are, that's when the power shifts. That's when the energy turns. Because a woman who rises from heartbreak doesn't come back the same. She comes back wiser. She comes back with stronger boundaries, a deeper self-love, and a clearer vision of who deserves to sit at her table. And let's be real, he didn't break you. He cracked the illusion. He shattered the image you had of him. The pedestal you put him on, it had termites. And once it fell, you saw the truth. You saw that the love you gave wasn't matched. You saw the imbalance. You saw how you were doing emotional backflips just to keep things afloat, and he was out there floating with someone else's attention. That realization, it hurt, but it also freed you, because you can't fix what someone refuses to acknowledge. You can't pour into someone who doesn't even bring a cup. So now you get to rebuild, but this time you're not rebuilding for him, you're rebuilding for you. You're learning that heartbreak doesn't make you less worthy. It doesn't make you less beautiful. It doesn't erase your value. In fact, it refines it. It teaches you what to no longer tolerate. It shows you what kind of love won't be acceptable next time. It helps you sharpen your instincts because you gave your heart in good faith, and now you know to guard it with wisdom, not walls. He underestimated your power because he never really took the time to see it. He saw your body, your beauty, your presence, but he never truly saw your soul. That's why he could break your heart so carelessly. He didn't realize the woman standing in front of him was divine. And when a man overlooks divinity, he always loses. Every time. Because God don't make women like you to be wasted. He makes women like you to be witnessed, to be honored, to be treasured. And when you rise, when you evolve from that heartbreak, you don't just recover, you become a force. The best revenge isn't bitterness, it's leveling up. See, when somebody plays with your heart, when they misuse your love, when they take your loyalty for granted, the first thing your emotions want to do is retaliate. You want to hurt them the way they hurt you. You want them to feel what it's like to be ignored, to be disrespected, to be dismissed. That's a natural reaction. But let me tell you something that'll shift your whole mindset. Real revenge doesn't come from trying to get even. It comes from refusing to lower yourself to their level. Bitterness is a trap. It looks strong, but it's weak. It keeps you tied to the very person who hurt you. You think you're doing something by holding on to the pain, by talking about them nonstop, by trying to expose them or make them jealous, but all you're really doing is keeping them in your system. And baby, they already walked out the door. Why are you still letting them live rent-free in your mind? When you operate from bitterness, you allow the situation to keep controlling you. And you deserve better than that. Leveling up means you stop playing the game they put you in. They broke your heart expecting you to spiral. Expected you to be out here wild and crying in public, sending long messages they ain't even reading. But when you choose elevation over reaction, it throws them off. They don't know what to do with a woman who doesn't respond with rage but with growth. A woman who doesn't chase but changes, who doesn't crumble but climbs. You level up by shifting the focus from them back to you. You get your power back when you start asking different questions. Not why did he leave, but why did I stay so long? Not what did I do wrong, but what did I learn from this? You start taking accountability for your healing. You get that gym membership, not for a revenge body, but for a revived body. You work on your mind. You reconnect with your goals. You stop putting your dreams on hold to play cheerleader for someone who couldn't even clap for you. You level up by becoming unavailable to anything that looks like what broke you. You get clear. You don't settle for attention. You wait for intention. You raise your standards without apology. You walk into rooms like you belong there because now you know you do. You get back in touch with your power and you protect it. That's how you win. Because let me tell you, when a man sees you rising, when he realizes you didn't just survive what he put you through, but you thrived, that's a different kind of pain for his ego. He thought you were going to be stuck. He thought your world revolved around him, but now you walking in your purpose, looking better, feeling stronger, glowing like you got a personal spotlight. You out here shining so bright, he got to squint just to think about you. And his glow up, it's not just physical, it's spiritual, it's emotional, it's mental. You start attracting people who see your worth because now you see your worth. You start moving different, speaking different, choosing different. And trust me, word travels, he gonna hear about it. He gonna see it, and it won't be the pictures on Instagram that break him. It'll be the fact that he knows he don't have access to you no more. That woman you used to be, the one he played with, she gone. The new version, she don't play games. She's out here building an empire from the pieces he tried to shatter. And the best part, you ain't even do it to hurt him. You did it to heal yourself. That's the most powerful revenge of all. When you stop trying to be seen by someone who was blind to you and start seeing yourself. When you stop needing validation and start giving yourself permission to rise, grow, and evolve. That's when the tables turn, not because you flipped them, but because you outgrew the whole room. Shattering his ego doesn't mean becoming like him. It means becoming unforgettable. It means taking everything he thought you would be and turning it into everything he never imagined you could become. It's not about revenge. It's not about trying to make him feel what you felt. It's about walking away from the damage and choosing to rise with grace, class, and a glow he can't ignore. See, some men only value a woman when she becomes a memory. And when you choose to grow instead of grovel, when you step into the next chapter without dragging his name through the mud, that's the moment his ego starts to crumble. He expected you to act out. He expected anger, screaming, maybe some late night texts, maybe a little public drama. That's what his ego needed to stay inflated. Your reaction. Because your silence, your peace, your progress, that's louder than anything you could have said. When a man who broke you watches you become better instead of bitter, he starts to realize just how small he really played himself. Because his ego is fed by your presence, but it starves in your absence. Becoming unforgettable doesn't mean you chase closure. It doesn't mean you try to prove your worth to the same person who couldn't see it. It means you go on with your life with your head held high. You don't need to send subliminal messages. You don't need to announce your moves. You become a woman who glows so hard she can't be dimmed, not by pain, not by betrayal, not by anyone who couldn't handle her light. And believe me, that light stays with him. Long after the text stops, long after you stop answering, long after your name stops coming up in conversation, he still remembers. He remembers how you believed in him when no one else did. He remembers how you poured into him when he was empty. He remembers how you loved him when he was unlovable. That kind of love leaves an imprint. But see, he didn't value it while he had it. He thought it was ordinary. He thought you would always be there. His ego told him he could do better, that he had time, that you weren't going anywhere. So when you leave, not out of spite, but out of self-respect, that's when he starts to feel the real weight of what he lost. You don't have to lower yourself to get his attention. You don't have to become cold just because he couldn't handle your warmth. You let your growth speak for itself. You become unforgettable by becoming untouchable. Not emotionally cold, but emotionally unavailable to nonsense. You don't build walls, you build standards. You don't just dress better, you walk different. Your energy changes, your circle tightens, your peace becomes your priority, and suddenly he can't access you the way he used to. Not because you're playing games, but because you're playing in a whole new league. His ego was used to the version of you that needed him, that waited on him, that tolerated confusion, half love, and broken promises. But that version doesn't live here anymore. Now he's got to sit with the reality that the woman he took for granted became the woman he can't forget. And it's not because you're trying to make him miss you. It's because you finally remember who you were before he tried to make you doubt it. Every time he sees you winning, leveling up, glowing, laughing from a genuine place, he'll feel it. Not because you're doing it to get his attention, but because you're doing it without needing it. That's the part his ego can't handle. You took your pain and turned it into power. You took his silence and turned it into strength. You took what was meant to break you and used it as fuel. And now, whether he admits it or not, he's haunted not by bitterness or blame, but by the memory of the woman who walked away with grace and became everything he swore you couldn't be. Unforgettable isn't about being loud. It's about making moves so powerful that even in your silence, your presence echoes. You become the lesson he'll never forget, the story he'll never stop telling, and the standard he'll never reach again.